Welcome to Swimming Hole Heaven. I'm Brad Neal and this is Lake Eckersley in the Heathcote National Park, just south of Sydney. I started my walk to the lake along the Gobrita track, which begins at the end of Oliver Street in Heathcote. Walk across this little footbridge and then you're on your way. This is the start of the walk of the Gobrita track, only a few metres off the road and already a beautiful landscape. The Gobrita track is steep but quite short, and soon you're onto the pipeline track, which is wide and open, following the pipeline for most of its length. There are several features along the pipeline trail, including Morang Pool and a Heathcote Creek crossing before you reach the Lake Eckersley track turnoff. You first encounter the lake at this lakeside fireplace. This is not the campground, but you can still swim here. It gets deep quite quickly. There's a few eels around and there's a little bit of algae growing around the edges. But once you get out into the middle, it's a big wide open space for a swim. For anyone who wants to swim across, there is actually a rope swing on the other side. Now it's time for a little bit of bush bashing to get to the campground itself. This is definitely a long sleeves, long pants kind of track over probably the last 150 metres to the campground. You might think that little fireplace back where you first encounter the lake is where the campground is, but it's not. It's actually here. Now we finally made it. Let's go for a swim. Deep quite quickly. Little sand walkway that takes you out into the water. Oh, nice. So you can see quite well underwater on the sand, but once you get a bit further out, the bottom becomes quite dark. So even though the water's clear, it's very hard to see. That was nice. If this video helped you think about getting to Lake Eckersley for a swim, then like it, share it, or leave me a comment. Don't forget to take a look at my other swims in the Heathcote National Park here on YouTube or on swimmingholeheaven.com, and subscribe to this channel for more.